Okay, we are live on the YouTube. I will share the link to in group. Okay, we are live on the YouTube. I will share the link to in group.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So, we will start today's training. So, as this is the third class of first let me give the glance of what we had covered in the previous two classes. So, in the first class, we understood what is SAP and where this platform is being used, and what is SAP Material Master Data, as explained it to you earlier. SAP Master Data is an platform where we are using it for basically to do the business transactions. Okay, like selling the stock, purchasing, doing physical inventory, and whatever the activities related to it. So SAP Master Data is nothing but a base where you will have your complete inventory data for it, and where the supply chain managements come into action, which has procurement of the materials for the company, or wherever this platform is being used. And also it is used for customer master data and vendor master data. So this is the basic function of material master. So as everyone might be aware, SAP is data, or SAP is a software which is used for company for end-to-end process of each company. It is a platform. It's very user friendly, which is being used in currently almost the big organizations or big companies. They are using SAP to conduct their sales. So what you should know about the master data is it is a logical representation of certain goods, like which has the functions like sales, purchasing, inventory management. To give you an example, we will consider it as like a car part, a transportation services, for example. All these three services can be included, okay, in master data, which can be maintained. So all this data has to be maintained in the material master in order to do your business activities. So in the last class, in the session number 2, we went through this first session was class 1 was introduction about material master, and we also went through the navigation screens, how to log on to the SAP, and what is the process, what are the screen navigation keys, what are the function of the keys. And in class number 2, we went to the chapter 1 of master data, introduction to the master data, how to create a material master, how to change material master, how to copy material master, mass creation of the material master, and material master views. This six sub chapters were covered in the class number 2. So now today we will go, or we will cover chapter number 2, which is purchasing. So we will have introduction to purchasing and purchase requisition. What is purchasing and what does the purchase requisition do? What does the role, and what is the role of these two subjects in an organization? And also we will go through how to create a purchasing info record. Okay. Next, in part 3, we will change how to change a purchase info record. Purchase info record is nothing but, for example, you have a material which you are going to procure or which you are going to buy for an organization. So this is the purchase info record. Like it is the info. Info is nothing but information on a particular material which will be purchased by you for your organization. Okay, so Rihan, my voice is clear, right? I visited asking. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, your voice is clear.
okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this class, we will learn what is so purchasing info record is the info or information for an record for a particular good which we will procure for an organization. So in if we consider it as if you are working as an supply chain professional in a company or in an organization, or you are as a buyer, or you are as a supply chain specialist, or you are as an purchaser for a organization. So you will have to keep the information of the goods which you are going to buy. Okay, so that information is saved in SAP. For example, each let us take a sample of a laptop. So if you are going to buy laptop for your organization, so if you have an organization, you are going to procure a laptop, then you have to save in the data of what is the configuration of laptop, like what will be the HDD screen size, and what is the configuration of laptop which you are going to buy, and how much, what will be the suppliers, what will be the vendors for it. So basically, purchasing info record is nothing but the source for each and every master record or the material which you will going to be procured. Okay, and how to change an info record, we will go through it, and how to create a purchase requisition, how it has to be created. In order to create a purchase order, you need a purchase requisition. Okay, so the base for purchase order is purchase requisition. Without a requisition, we will not be able to identify what is the core requirement of each purchase order. So in that step 5, we will learn how to convert a requisition to a purchase order. So let us go to the chapter 2 of purchasing. So let us have an introduction of purchasing and purchase requisition. See, this is the diagram, the complete cycle in which the purchasing is being done. MRP. Okay. First step is MRP. MRP is nothing but material requirements planning. In this step, we will have material resource or material requirement planning. It can be named as both. So in this process, the procurement proposal is created, that what is the requisitions. So later stage, it is converted into purchase requisition. So example, one project, it has a number of the goods which has to be purchased. So we will have a date. For example, one project, the project manager will tell it is needed in the next 2 months. So as a buyer or procurement, as an SCM who is creating the purchase order, who will be responsible. So he will identify the source and he will process the purchase orders for the company. That is nothing but a purchase requisition. So next step after this is assigning the source to the purchase requisition. Assigning the source means you have to identify which is the best source, or where the it is best product to be procured for that type of purchase requisition. And after that is releasing the purchase requisition. Okay, this is coming under this green one, second step. Okay, so next is assigning the source, then here releasing the PR. Releasing the PR is done by the project manager once it is being assigned by the purchase requisition, or by the project manager. He will release it for procurement, that release it for the purchasing. Okay, convert to PO is the process where the purchase requisition will, Rihan brother, just mute all participants so that we will have. No disturbance. Okay, so we were here convert to PR to the PO, convert the PR purchase requisition to a purchase order. Then it is goods receipt. Goods receipt is basically the step where warehouse management steps in. They are the one who are responsible to do the GR in the system, that is goods receipt. Then invoice receipt. This step is done by the finance department of the company. Everything, all this complete process is done from platform of SAP. In the other terms, this is also known as P2P. Okay, procure to pay. Also, we are procuring something and we are paying it with suppliers. The steps which comes between this is all the steps which we will cover. Okay, the last two steps are other modules. The last goods receipt is warehouse management, and the last one is finance management. Okay. Here, what it is stating that procurement doesn't have to be started by MRP. Means procurement, it can be not only started by a requisition, it can be also started by one. Okay, so I was here. Procurement does not have to start by MRP. Means it has not to be only initiated from the MRP. Means from the requisition from the requisition releasing, it can be also initiated from the like tendering stage. The supply chain management can know what is the core requirement or initial requirement, so that they can be one step ahead and start their activities. So MRP is a system function to determine the material requirements on both the material side and BOM level. Okay, BOM is nothing but bill of materials. Bill of materials is an important stage where each project has bill of materials. For example, if you are working in an company which is producing a car, let us take an example of the car. So the bill of material for the car one producing one single or manufacturing a single car will have a bill of material. Bill of material is the list of material that what all materials are required to produce a one complete car. Okay, because the manufacturer, for example, let us take Toyota. So Toyota is a company who will produce a car. So company Toyota will not produce everything. Okay, for example, they will not have the steel or iron which is required by car, or they will not have the leather. They are not one who will produce the leather for the car, the seats, the LCD, the engine. Each type of material has a different manufacturer. So it should be procured. Obviously, it should be bought or it should be purchased from other sources or other suppliers, which is the finished part. And Toyota is only who will assemble the car. They will not produce everything. So bill of material is nothing but the list of all materials which are required to produce a car. So here the purchase purchaser or the buyer or the supply chain management will when they will have a list of bill of materials with them, they will help the manufacturer, or they will help if they are working for Toyota. They will have a list of material, that is BOM, which they will procure as per the requirement or as per the model of the car. Then this car can be manufactured by Toyota. So this is nothing but a list of components and subcomponents of a single material consisting, okay, of the basic documents in the SAP. So this process, the bill of material also is available in SAP, in which it can be procured. Okay, so let us go to the next item, that is that is purchase requisition. Purchase requisition is created automatically by the system or manually. So this step means that purchase requisitions can be created. For example, when we have a list of material, that means bill of materials. For example, now what SAP can be assigned is Once the project has been entered in SAP, for example, you are going to produce 10 cars. So what system will tell? We will have a single material or a sales order or a requirement which project manager will enter, and he will say to SAP that he needs 10 cars, which is bill of material. Then what will happen? Once there is negative requirement in the system, then system will generate a PR, the purchase requisition, to be processed or to be created by the system. It can be systemly done or manually also. So system will create that it needs this number list of components for a particular 10 cars, and it will show us what has to be purchased by a buyer. So it can also be, for example, if something is missed or if there are changes for something, it can be manually also added by a system. Okay, which this can be done by a project manager. So if you want something to be added manually due to some changes or due to some release approvals, it can be done in the later stage. So this purchase requisition, once there is requisition in the system, then it can be converted to purchase order. But upon only release approval of the requisition, okay, this can be done by the project managers, the head of the PM department, or whatever the designation it is, whoever has the authorization. Because SAP, each organization has restricted authority. It is there in the SAP. Everyone cannot do everything. One guy cannot do everything, okay? Because if you are working in supply chain, you will have a restriction to use only the transaction codes which is falling under your jurisdiction, or for which you will have the requirements. For example, you cannot pay a supplier because this is the job of finance. Only finance people will have the authorization to pay a supplier. Likewise, the finance people will not have authorization to create a PO. So this is conflict of interest. So it will be in this way. Okay. So we went all through this. Requisitions can also be assigned, based on the document number or based on the project number. We also have a requirement tracking. Basically, requisitions, each requisition is unique. Okay, each part number or material master record is unique. Likewise, same, each purchase requisition has a unique number and it can be tracked from end to end. Okay, it is not only that you will be tracking from the starting to end. For example, once the requisition has been created, you can track it until the end. You can see the status of the purchase requisition, if it has been converted to purchase order or not, or if it has been modified, because first maybe the quantity was 10 piece, later it was modified 11 piece. So you can see all the changes of the requisition. Yeah. So also in the requisition, we can assign a source. For example, if you have already an agreement that for a car that all type of the steel or iron which is being used, it will be supplied by a particular supplier. So the requisition can be assigned to a source. That means if the vendor master has been created in system, that this item will be purchased from a particular source or particular supplier, the requisition can be assigned to a separate source of the supplier, so that the system will show you from where this item has to be bought or procured. So let me see, someone's mic is not connected. I think so disturbance. Bashir, yes, whether can you, Rihan, can you mute Bashir?
का पूरा रूट है और इस 23 किलोमीटर में मॉडल गाड़ी से लेके माइल्स पर इसका इख्तिताम होगा और यहाँ पर
Okay. So number of range for the purchase requisitions. Let us see this. So ranges, it can be, if you are creating the manual purchase requisition, the start and end you can maintain, so that it will show you what is the current series of the requisition. Also, purchase requisitions can be created based on the type of PO. For example, framework PO is nothing but a PO or purchase order which is for the full year. For example, each procure has we agree with a supplier that we will have a complete work with you for 1 year. So whatever the requirement are under 1 year, we will give you a one single purchase order. So it is unlimited. He can keep on supplying and he can keep on invoicing, so that the company's requirement are fulfilled for this. Okay. Requirement tracking is this is the MELB that recode the transaction code which can be used. Just 1 second. Let's see some disturbance. Okay. MELB is a transaction code which is being used to check the requirement number. For example, when you have assigned a purchase requisition that can be tracked or through the tracking numbers, or see, this is the MELB transaction code. Once this is executed, then you will see all these types of requisition. Then we click on continue. When you click on continue, see purchase transactions per requirement tracking. So here, this can be, yeah, for example, if you have assigned a tracking code for each requisition number, so what will happen? Okay, so here, once we click a requirement, so when we go to the tracking, when we use the MEBL, the transaction code, here we enter the tracking number, then we can track all type of requisitions, or as per the BOM, or as per the bill bill of the material, list of the materials. Okay. So determination is nothing but how the source has been. Once you have assigned a source to each type of material, it can be suggested by outline agreement. So there is agreement with the supplier. It can be also entered in SAP, which will show you the source for this, or it can be, or you can use ME2N. This is also a T code in which, for example, if you are buying material continuously from many suppliers, once you run this T code, then you can see from where and in what date and what time, and from which supplier or which source a particular material has been purchased. So all history will be saved in the SAP once the purchase order has been created. Okay. So here, quota arrangement where the system determined if there is suitable source. So it also can determine if there is already an quota arrangement for the system, where it will identify or show you the list of materials which can be purchased through an agreement. Then it is also seen if for the fixed records and block records. Okay, for example, this is nothing but the info record. If you want a particular material to be purchased from any supplier, so it will save the data. Once this has been created, purchase order has been created by a system, it will show in the info record. It can also be blocked. For example, one supplier is closed. Okay, you have two sources. There are two companies which are supplying same product. So, for example, one company is closed. So, what buyer can do is he can go to ME1M and he can block the info record, so that in future it will not be purchased from that company which is closed. It will already show that this is blocked. So, this can be done also in the SAP. This is also a function which can be. See, so this is source determination. If you can see, there is check mark here. So if you don't check mark it, this process, this source determination will not be done by system, the SAP. Once you check mark this, then system will search for it will determine the source for the particular material or material master. So this is already explained. So here you can see, for example, this is the info record. Each info record has two types of info record name. See, vendor one and vendor two. This is nothing but supplier one, supplier two. Has the see. This is we will take as we explained you in the class two. We took an example as per the screenshot here, in which you can see that we are taking an example of a TV which will be purchased. So this TV of 40 inches, okay, LCD TV of 40 inch has two vendors, okay. One vendor, the price is here. If you can see, everyone can see it, right? So this is 233, okay, euro from one supplier, and from others it is 107. So we can see this has been bought before, or this, if this has been entered in the system, the buyer can see this, okay, the two types of different prices. So here he will select whichever is suitable for the project. For example, this is a company. For example, this is Sony and this is Samsung. So the price might be different because of the company. So it will be based on the requirement that he will buy whatever the source is. Here, if you see, the material is one only. The LCD TV is one, but the source is two or three, because same product can be purchased from the different company or different brand. Each brand will have its value, or it can be higher, it can be lower, whatever it is. So he will follow the requirement of the company or project manager, or the instructions of the management, or instructions of the production people or production manager, whatever the type is required. So buyer will procure it. Okay, give me one second. So in next step, we will learn that how purchase info record is created in the system. As I explained you, purchasing info record is an information about the terms of purchasing of a specific material from a vendor. Okay, vendor is nothing but it can also be called a supplier, who is going to supply a particular material which we are going to buy. So this can be maintained in the SAP as a combination of the vendor or material master. Obviously, you cannot identify all vendors in the system without a material. So once you have a material code in the system, I will show you the screenshots. Where it is this. Okay, this is the info record. Okay, this is the process. So it is combined. Okay, it is combined. So each specific material, for example, one LCD inch TV, it will have a 40 inch will have one vendor, and 20 inch and 30 inch, whatever the material is, they will have a particular vendor. So the record, the data itself is the combination of the material and vendor material master in the SAP. Okay. In this info record, purchasing info is nothing but the information of the particular material or particular product which will be bought from the particular supplier. Okay, so this information will have pricing and the conditions, how the order will be done, what will be the delivery, and how much time it will take to deliver from that supplier. Example also the availability period and limits. For example, it can be bought in one or two pieces, or it should be in the sets. All information about buying that particular product will be there in the info record. So info record is nothing but the complete information of that product, that where and how, and in what terms, and what will be the delivery time in which this supplier, all the product will be purchased. Okay. So now we have a standard info record contain information of the standard purchase orders. Okay, right. So info record can be not only for the material or product, it can also be for the services. For example, it can also be for the subcontracting. If you are taking some services from a contract, or you are giving one contract to one subcontractor, it can have an info record can also have an information that, for example, for the assembly of a TV, we can give it to a sub supplier. So even that information can be saved in the system. A pipeline info record contains information of the vendor's commodity that is supplied to the pipeline or the pipes. So, for example, okay, sorry, I was paused. Okay, so we were in the pipeline, for example. Uh, you can keep the withdrawal usage prices for the different validity of periods. So pipeline means, for example, one each product will have a price for a particular period of time. Okay, then for example, if you are having any type of metals, for example, the price of the metal, it will change. It will not be stable. It will be based on the LME, the London Metal Exchange. All over the world, it will go up and it will go down for the iron, the steel. So it can be maintained in the system that this price will expire after 1 week or 1 month. Even this can be maintained. So whenever you will buy a particular item, system will pop up, or it will show you an error message that this price is no longer valid. Okay, you need to contact the supplier, request for the quotation from them, and take the price from them. Okay. So, this is the transaction code, or T code ME11, which will be used for the standard T code, which will be used from the buyer to create a purchasing info record for a particular material. So step one will be enter the transaction code, the command prompt. Okay, this will be entered in the dialog box of the initial screen. So this is the dialog box. See. So once you enter M11, and then when you press enter to the next screen, you will see this. Okay, this is the next screen which will appear. So vendor is nothing but the number of the vendor. For example, each and every vendor or supplier will have a unique number. Once their record is created in the material master, they will have number itself. You don't need to enter their detail, their address, their name, anything. You will get a unique number for one supplier. For example, TV, Sony company, if you are going to buy from Sony will have a number. This vendor number, it cannot be only the it can be from alphabets or numbers. So basically, most of the companies, they are using numbers. So so you are going to create an info record. For example, if you have, let me explain you. So if you have one TV, so this is the material code. The material code here. Let me highlight it to you. So here, okay, this material code. Material code is nothing but the code for a 40-inch TV. So now you have now info record is the record which you will create for the system. Then you are telling the system that you are going to create a source for this 40-inch TV. So now vendor one, for example, let us mark Sony. Sony also has 40-inch TV. It is giving for you a particular price, and you also have this one from let us say some other brand. Like Samsung, you also have a price from Samsung. So you have three prices. So you are putting the data or you are entering the data in a system. You are telling the system, okay, I have this 40-inch TV. So I will create it for the three vendors. So next, when you will create a purchase order in system, it will show you three prices. It will have all prices in the system. So then that the buyer can select three type of products here. Okay. Purchasing organization is nothing but as explained to you in class 1 and class 2. This is the organization where you will have the for example, each department has its unique organization. Okay. So this is the four types of categories which we explained it to you in the previous slides. That standard is the standard info record, which is like every time it has been selected. If it is pipeline or it is consignment, you will select as per the category of this. So basically every time it is standard. Okay. Info record has general data. So how you will create the info record vendor material as explained you, which is used for this. Okay, vendor material number is nothing but you can also, if for example, here what as per the reference of the company or for internal purpose you have maintained this 10599, but this is a part number. Okay, identification number. Like if you have seen, if you go buy something, there is something called scanner, when the billing is done or when you go to the billing counter, there is scanner, there is unique barcode. So each company will have their own different code or part number. This can also be maintained in SAP, in the vendor master material number. Okay. Also, so to identify, once the PO is sent, even he will be able to read that what is his part number, so that maybe he will not understand by the local part number which is maintained from you. He will understand from the vendor material number which you enter in the SAP. Okay, salesperson. The salesperson for this particular material also can be maintained in the SAP. You can maintain his name, his telephone number in SAP, and agreement can be. Order unit is nothing but how you will order this TV, for example, it will be ordered in the piece. If it is something with two item, it will be in the liter. So it can be certificate category is the category of what certification is required for this material, and the country of origin, for example, is where it is coming from. If it is coming from China, Japan, wherever it is produced in the world. So the country of origin is nothing but the what do you tell, the origin where it has been produced, originally, where the place of the manufacture of that material or that kind of thing. Here, okay, so in next screen, we see what and how the info record has been created. Okay, here the screen says the vendor data here. One second, let me highlight. Okay, vendor data for vendor one example. Let us say Samsung. This is the material. This is the gray field. Okay, you cannot change all these three. It is common. So this is the vendor data, and what is this? This is the expediting the date, how you will be reminded for after creating the purchase order. Here I told you this is vendor material number is the unique code of the supplier which they will maintain. And here service category, as explained you in the step 8, this is the certificate required for this material. City of origin, country, sorry, not city, country of origin is 80. Short form, like India has IN, Saudi Arabia has SA, and China has CN. It can be mentored. Once you click this field, then you will see the drop down list. You can select that category. Salesperson is the person, you can enter whatever the salesperson is for this particular material or particular vendor. Okay. Order unit can be piece, can be liter, whatever it is. Conversion, okay, conversion is one pallet has 12 pieces like this. It can be converted. Okay, if it is in packing unit, you can also mention here in the packing unit. Here, the next step has purchasing organization data one. Here, in this view, separately for every procurement type, we have choose standard type, so we can populate. So as we have selected the standard type, this is the next screen information which you will have the planned delivery time. Planned delivery time is nothing but, for example, if you buy a TV from Sony, so they will tell you if you want 100 pieces, it will take them for around 2 months to supply. So this is nothing called the planned delivery time. It can also be entered in SAP. So whenever you have, when you want to buy this TV from them, so you will see that each piece needs around 3 4 days for the manufacturing from them out, along including the delivery, the transportation for that particular material. Purchasing group is the buyer group which has been saved in the SAP. Standard quantity. Standard quantity is purchase of standard quantity. For example, minimum quantity is 1 piece. Or the standard quantity, 1 piece can be bought. For example, some companies, they will not give you 1 piece or 2 piece. If you want to buy something, you have to buy in huge quantities. So that is nothing called the minimum quantity. Maybe Sony or Samsung companies will tell you minimum. If you are buying for company, you have to buy 10 pieces or 20 pieces minimum. So this can also be maintained in SAP. So once you buy this product here, see, this is the minimum quantity. Always, minimum quantity, you have to buy 20 pieces of this TV from the supplier. You cannot buy 1 2 3 4. You should buy minimum 20. Okay. Okay. Next, we will come to the net price. Net price is the price, the net of price of that TV is, for example, not the gross price. Okay, the net price, the main price of that particular item. Incoterms is the trading delivery term. So if someone is aware of this, this is nothing but how this will be delivered. For example, it will be delivered to you by. We can have as a class. We will go to it to the separate class. So I will make you understand what is the Incoterms means. So here, this is the field which we are talking about. You can enter the planned delivery time here, the purchasing group here, the standard quantity, minimum quantity, all information can be entered. Okay. The maximum quantity, maybe maximum only 200 pieces can be, 200 type TVs can be given to you. Here you see net price is 2,800 euros per piece, and this is valid through, if the validity is lifelong, you can enter 31/12/9999. This is until time end. If it is valid for this year, then you enter as October 2023. If it is valid for this year only or next year 2023, you enter it as well. Effective price is 2,800. If there is a discount, you can click on the discount tab. Incoterms is X work where it will be delivered. Okay, here there is price condition. PV00 is the type of condition which will be created under the standard info records for particular field. So step 5, this can be maintained here. See, this same information which was entered here appears in this field. And next step is you can save this one. Okay, for example, if you have any text note or if you have any purchase order text, this will appear in the PO stage. Once you create a PO, if you want something to be appeared, that desired information, for example, you will tell the this type of particular TV needs special packing, so you enter here so that it will show in the PO. Okay, so once this you have created a purchase info record, then it will have a unique number. Every time you want to, no need to create now. This is only one time. Once you have created, for example, this TV has info record, especially this unique number. So this is the record which has been created with all above information. Then this can be saved in the purchasing info record. So I believe today's time is up. So we will have 10 to 15 minutes for question and answers. So in next class tomorrow, inshallah. So we will go through how to change a purchase requisition info record, so that we can complete this chapter number 2. Okay, so now we have 14 minutes. We can start question and answers for the brothers who is joined. So anyone has any questions, you can ask me. I will try to clear it for you. Okay. So whether it's fun, you can take up with you. Rihan, you're here. You can unmute yourself and you can ask me. Okay.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you can ask. You can go to the questions now.
Sure. Okay. Whom you want the question, just raise your hand. I will unmute him. Anyone? Anyone? Anyone have the question, please? I think no one have the question. Okay, class will continue.
Yeah, we will continue. So no questions, right? So we
Nobody
can,
have the questions. You can continue.
okay. So we can continue more 5 to 6 minutes. So we were okay. Okay, we were here in the chapter 2 purchasing and how to create a purchase equation is done. Sorry. We were there. How to change, okay, how to create a purchase. Okay, so we have done this, that how this purchase record will be created. So once this has been created, you will have a unique number. Just, yeah. So here, after this all information is entered, you will say. So also once the record is created, when you have a unique record number, like in previously, if this is created, then okay, then this can be entered and it can be seen in M11. So changes are not possible in display mode. This is just display. If you want to refer what the record has been created, you can go through this. Okay, so how the purchase requisition has been created. So these are the fields in which you will have the creation of the purchase requisition. Execute, you will execute the T code in ME51N. Document type is NB is nothing but standard. It can be turned on here. You can see the source determination, which is this field of fixed vendor. If you have a fixed vendor for this type of requisition, for example, this TV has a fixed vendor, it will show you here if the vendor number for a sample type we have just entered as vendor number 1. Okay, so this will have a valuation price. What is the price for from this vendor for this type of TV? This is the valuation price. Okay, number 10. So this is how the requisition will be created. It can be identified here. Okay, source is done. Header note. Header note is nothing but if you can see here what we have written, that this type of requisition has been created manually on 10/5/2013. Okay, this is the header note. So whenever you want to refer that why this requisition was created or by whom it was created, you can write data, whatever it is. This is free field. The data can be entered. Vendor is automatically determined by the source field. Once you click this check mark, this vendor will be automatically defined. Tracking number is covered in the previous topics. Okay, valuation price is copied from them. So once this requisition is created, once this requisition has been created, valuation price will be identified by the info record. Okay. So how to convert the purchase requisition to the purchase order? We will cover this topic tomorrow, inshallah. So in this, we will come to know that how a purchase requisition will be converted to a purchase order. What is the process? What is the steps for this? Basically, this is used, or the transaction which is used is ME21N to convert a purchase order. Here the step happens, what happens is the buyer, he creates a purchase order for a supplier, and what are the fields. This has sorry. So this has many subcategories. Each and every tab has its own information which has to be filled. So this we will go through tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. So the time and link both will be shared in the particular groups, both the SAP MM group and MM2 group tomorrow. Or yeah, tomorrow by morning or today it will be shared to when we will complete the next class for this particular subject. Okay, so thank you for joining today's class. Inshallah, tomorrow we will have a new
Thank you,
class.
Murali. Thanks to all to joining us. Alhamdulillah, class is very good. Okay. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Khuda Hafiz.
Thank you.